life is right now. It's now. It's just right now. And how you feel right now, right now, right now. This could take a while. Right now, right now, right now. How you feel right now, right now, right now. How you feel right now, now, right now, right now. How you feel right now. How you feel right now. This is life right now. How you feel right now. And right now, you might be thinking about the future, or you might be thinking about this beautiful Tabriz rug, or you might be thinking about something that happened yesterday or 10 years ago. But you're doing it right now, which means you're allowing free-flowing energy, or you're introducing resistance right now. Right now. So, yes, it's about creating. Yes, it's about what comes to you. Yes, it's about what rendezvous with you. Yes, it's about manifestation. Yes, it's about material things. Yes, it's about the money in your bank. Yes, it's about the house you live in. Yes, it's about everything. It's about everything that is tangible and visceral and personal. It's about all of those things. But mostly it's about how you feel right now. So once you play with this a little while, and we'll walk you through it easily. Once you play with this for a little while, you're going to find yourself waking up and not only noticing that you're awake, but reveling in the fact that you are, and feeling the enthusiasm for being awake and alive and anew in your body, with so many things that you've already pre-paved, so many things you've already pre-planned, so many things that you've already put into your vortex, so many things that Source is already on, so many things that have been orchestrated on your behalf, so many things that are all queued up, ready for you. Yes, they're going to pop into your experience, they're going to manifest, you're going to realize them. Yes, 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 yes. But it's the clarity that you're going for. It's the mood. When we teach you how the laws of the universe work, and then you take us at our word and make the effort to apply just a little bit and then get results. The results are what show you. Everything is relational. So there is this version of what you want relative to investments, successful choosing, putting not so much in, getting steady, consistent out. In other words, there's this version of what you want that is out there, and as you question it or doubt it or remember opposite things from happening, then you don't get any momentum going on that version. You get momentum going on the other version. So it really boils down to how much airtime am I giving to the different vibrational realities that are out there. You have all created enough different vibrational realities to keep yourself busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. The question is, are you going to exercise the control that is available to you through the focus of your own mind to actualize or demonstrate the realities that will be pleasing when they unfold? We've been talking about getting on your high-flying disc. We'll talk about it a lot today. Waking up first thing in the morning, and before any worrisome thought or any troublesome thought or any past memory or anything that could muddy your waters begins, to just proclaim to yourself and to the universe that today you are anew. You've pushed the reset button. You are like reborn. And today, right now, in this moment, you are in a high-flying vibration, because in this day you have not yet introduced any resistance into the equation. And you didn't carry it over from yesterday. That's the most important thing that we want to say to you. During the night, you stopped the momentum as you slumbered. So when you awaken in the morning, you're in that high-flying place for sure, if you will focus there and allow yourself to be there. We'll talk more about how to get there. Esther said to us the other day, Abraham, I refuse to accept that if I wake up in the morning and I'm on my high-flying disc and then something occurs to me and I begin to ponder negative things and then I lose my connection to that high-flying feeling, I refuse to accept that I have to wait clear until tomorrow morning to get back on. And we say, you don't have to wait clear until tomorrow morning to get back on. There are all kinds of tools. It's just easier first thing in the morning. And so Esther's been playing that game every morning, waking up. And it's quite funny because she's by herself, and so she awakes. And then she announces to herself, I'm awake. Like somebody in the other room needs to know. I'm awake and I'm coming in. I'm coming in and I'm high flying, so get ready. Prepare yourself for the silliness or for the fun or for the high flyingness of that which is me, because that's where I am and that's where I mean to stay. So as she has been for about 6 weeks now, waking up in a really steady determination to be high flying and then doing her best to stay there. We've been saying to you that 17 seconds begins another new momentum. Have you been hearing us say that? So Esther says to herself, if anything occurs to her that's a slight deviation from feeling good, she gives herself 17 seconds to get over it. 17, 16, 15. She told a friend the other day, I have something to tell you and I only have 17 seconds to say it in, so I need your undivided attention because this is going to be fast. So since Esther has been playing this game where she's been really decided, determined to get on that high-flying disc, wanting very much to wake up there, acknowledge that she is there, and then milk it as best she can in order to stay there. Every morning, more momentum. Every morning, more momentum. Every morning, more momentum. And by that we mean more momentum in her ability to wake up there and stay there longer. The first day, she didn't even make it till breakfast. Second day either. By the third day, she was doing better and better. By the first week, she could maintain herself there. By the second week, she was so looking forward to going to sleep so that she could wake up knowing for sure that she was there. And as the weeks began to move past, she began to notice that her days were affected in this really powerful way. This is what Esther discovered as a result of this exercise that she applied deliberately. She felt clear-minded. Clear. She knew what to do. No confusion about what to put in the suitcase. No confusion about what to pick up and carry to the other room when you move from one place to another. No confusion about what to say when you're talking to this person. No confusion about what you mean to convey relative to this. Confusion gone and clarity in its place. Do you know how good clarity feels? And then she thought about what it must feel like for the astronauts to be in those rocket ships and be shooting through the atmosphere, out. She's seen the movies, have you? It looks hard. The tension of the rocket, there's so much resistance as it is moving at that speed through the resistance of that atmosphere, and then boom, they break out of the atmosphere. And everything is silent and easy. And Esther said, I broke out of the atmosphere. I left the resistance behind me, mostly. At least I know what to do. I can have that free flowing. So as she's been experiencing that and loving the feeling of clarity, knowing with certainty that the decision that she's making about this is the right one, no longer second guessing herself, no longer going, well, let's weigh the pros and the cons, let's torture me as long as we can under the guise of being objective. And we say, let's not. Let's think only about what you want and why you want it. There are different vibrational discs. Do you sort of kind of get that?
Yes.
Feeling really good, feeling really bad, and everything in between. And these discs are your point of attraction. And for sake of simplicity, let's call them your current mood. So there's that. There's your vibrational frequency, which is how close in proximity are you to the frequency of your source. That really is what you're feeling with those moods or emotions. So love is a high frequency with little resistance, and despair is a lower frequency. But in these frequencies, there is also momentum. In other words, we liked how you used the word inspired. You can be inspired to punch somebody in the nose. You can just take so much. In other words, you listen to them, you sort of put up with it, you listen some more, you remembered all of the people who were like that you've ever lived with during your life. You sort of nodded with the people that were at the table with you. You saw the tension of those around you. You went 17 seconds and 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 68 seconds and another and another and another, and it's been a half an hour, and you've been listening to this person, and there's momentum that has built within you until you are inspired to punch their lights out. Yeah? So there's inspiration and there's inspiration. So we want to call inspiration momentum.
Okay.
And we want to say that momentum is possible on any disc. So we want you to get on the high-flying disc before you decide anything. So let's say that someone has something to gain by selling you something. And it's not exactly a win-win situation, and they know it because they're not offering you the fair value that you want. But it's sort of the way the game's played. If you're not smart enough to know that you're being taken advantage of, then there are people who feel like it's fine to take advantage of you, and there's no arbitrator out there in the sky who's sorting all of that out. In other words, that's why you want your gut to guide you. You want to intuitively know what to do. So let's say that that person is so determined that they are going to sell this today, and they have supreme momentum going, and you woke up foggy. You're not on your high-flying disc. You don't have your own momentum going. And so you visit with them who has momentum going. Can you see how you can be drawn into their momentum? And so it's really about where you are before you rendezvous in that physical action-oriented way. Jerry used to say, on a pretty regular basis, if you don't have goals of your own, you become part of other people's goals. And what he was actually saying is, there are people with momentum all around. And if you're walking around without very much momentum of your own going, it doesn't take very much of your attention to their momentum before you become part of their momentum. The question is their momentum in vibrational alignment with you and your high-flying disc? That's the question. And you won't know that until you get on your high-flying disc and get on your high-flying disc and get on your high-flying disc and then. So we know it's boring, but that's our answer. Get on the high-flying disc and then. So then you got to ask, how do I get on my high-flying disc? And we told you the easiest way is you wake up there, notice it, and then do it tomorrow, notice it, and then do it tomorrow and notice it, until you'll begin to feel something kick in. You'll begin to feel your lightheartedness return, and you will recognize it because you've all lived it. You've all lived it. You lived it a long time when you were little. You've lived it. You will recognize it. You will recognize the visceral feeling of it, you see. And then begin to notice that you can perpetuate that good feeling with these thoughts, and you can detract from these good feelings with these thoughts. In other words, begin to feel your momentum. Controlling momentum is the name of this game. It's the creative game, controlling momentum. Knowing what direction you're moving and controlling your momentum toward it, you see. You're wanting to be up to speed with that which you have accomplished. So that's really what we want to help you to understand. We speak to you, and if you're really new, we know that even though you may be new to this forum, Esther likes to know how many of you are here in an environment like this with us for the first time. And while you're here, we know you've been listening or reading. So we know that you are more up to speed than the new first time in this arena implies. But we want you to feel new in the world today. We want you to feel new in the room today. We want you to feel new in your life today. We want you to feel that lighthearted, refreshed, high-flying feeling that you felt when you knew you were coming into an environment like this, where you knew that you would have enough variety to sift and sort from, and that you would be able to come to your own personal preferences of what would be pleasing to you. And you knew that universal forces would be backing you up to help you to realize, in the fullest sense of the word, to realize, to experience fully anything that this time-space reality could inspire within you. So as you begin approaching life deliberately like that, where you get it. Esther said to 3 or 4 people yesterday, and it may seem strange to you that she could come this far, this long with us, and be having these kinds of epiphanies, especially after we've been saying these words for a long, long time. But words don't teach, do they? You have to have your own experience in it. It's only life experience that teaches. Strange that we offer so many words.